That snaps for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon,
We
you want one
can't, we
quick
can't, we
question?
can't ask Rashad a question.
All right. That's what I had to say about that. Let's get into this hip hop, shall we? So I guess I'll go over my notes first. We'll do that. I'll go over my notes. So I made notes this morning listening to all the albums I listened to. I listened to 3 albums today. First was Playboi Carti. Second was K Camp. And third was Ty Guy. So let me pull up, I guess, like a background or something that I could have up for this, so y'all could just look at the background, whatever things of that sort. Right. There we go. The moment y'all been waiting for. Drum roll, please. All right, bet. So here we go, man. Where we at? Okay. My first note from this album of I Am Music was the feature placements early on. They really reminded me of When I Get Home from Solange 2019, ironically, which included Cardi as one of the features, but she had Cardi, Tyler the Creator. I was about to say Ty the Guy. Tyler the Creator, Gucci Mane, but the way they were featured was like as ad libs, as background vocals almost. It was like, kind of like another piece of the song, like they lived within the instrumentals. It was something that I never heard before, quite with so many features. Sometimes you'll hear hidden features and, people who just do the hook or something like that, or maybe just the ad libs, but she had them like in the song, but not. It was weird. It was very just creative how she did those features. And that's how Cardi did these features at the beginning of this album with Travis, with Pluto, with Dot, and everything like that. That's how he really started this album, and I enjoyed it. And I thought that was the Kendrick feature. I thought that was the Travis Scott feature. I thought that was the Future feature, and it wasn't. Boy, was I in for such a pleasant surprise going down this track listing and stuff. So then my next note is he's rapping over 2000s beats from Metro Boomin. Radar. It sounds like he's really, really rapping. I would say here at this point, I didn't even realize this until I seen other people point it out. But Cardi in the past 2-3 years, ever since like the rollout of this entire project, has been aimed to like a salute to Atlanta, Georgia. It's crazy because he says Southside and he shouts out Atlanta and growing up in Atlanta and Atlanta streets all the time in his songs. But I feel like in a way, because he has become so alternate, as opposed to when he kind of first came up in the SoundCloud era and the Awful Music Records era and stuff like that. And the Awful Music, when he first came out, right, as an artist, when he first popped around 2014, 2015, 2016, he was just kind of like another Atlanta rapper, and he sounded like Atlanta. His accent, you can hear it, his rhyme scheme, the beat selection. It was all very trap. It was all very Atlanta. And then when he just kind of continued to change his voice and go more alt and go more right and go more left and go more this, it was like, yo, you didn't necessarily correlate his music and his sound to the city of Atlanta. So a lot of people, they would mention when they say, oh, best rappers, sometimes every now and again they'll be like, but the main thing people say is Future, Thug, Baby, right? 21 Savage, Future, 21 Ram, and then every now and again people say like, oh yeah, Playboi Carti is doing this thing. Playboi Carti is also doing this thing. It'll kind of be like a afterthought, almost in a way that Gambino for the blog era rappers and stuff like that, they treated him. It was like, oh yeah, we got so and so, we got Migos, we got da 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 da. Oh, we got Migos, we got 2 Chains, we got who's another blog era rapper from Atlanta, but they'll say like somebody else, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, and then someone will be like Gambino not Atlanta. Yes, he is. He's from. Oh, okay, I didn't even know he's from Atlanta. And that's exactly, I feel like, how Playboi Carti was being treated when he went full rock star with Whole Lotta Red, even though that album includes just a lot of Atlanta references. So this album was like, he made a distinct decision to like remind you this is very Atlanta. This is my salute. This is my ode to the city where I'm from. I love where I'm from. I love my city. And I thought he did a great job with that, with having Swamp Izzo host the album and have him just host the entire era and the entire rollout and things of that sort. Being even on the Lotto feature for Blake's Song remix, like it's crazy. It's just insane. And so salute to him for that for sure. I also think it's interesting how he's kind of cool with like 21's Camp Seal 4L. And then, but he's like obviously got a problem with Drake, which we'll get into after the actual album review. But yeah, I think that's interesting. A side note. But yeah, I was very surprised to hear Kendrick verse because he was doing ad libs on another earlier track. It sounded like Luther Kendrick. That was another note that I had. You guys know that song if you heard the album and stuff like that. I honestly can't really remember it, but it sounded like in the same vein of Luther. It was like towards the beginning of the album, kind of. Then my next note is Future sounds like he has a verse on Charged Them a Fee. Travis Scott also pulls a dot where he has a verse after previously just doing ad libs on another track. And then my next note is in all caps. Another dot feature, question mark, question mark, question mark. Good credit. He really rapping on this one. I'm so glad I didn't give up on this album. Before good credit, I felt like I was about to give up on the album because I started off hype. He gets into Evil Jordan. I said, Evil Jordan on the album. And I'm listening to it on YouTube. So on YouTube, Joker just put in someone's fan video, right? Of Evil Jordan. So it's just a version I know. I said, oh, he got Bear One Boss in the video. Somebody ripping the boat. Once again, showing his ode to Atlanta. You showing love to underground Atlanta artists. Bear One Boss. Shout out to Pop Star Benny. Shout out to Tony Snow. Anyways, we get back to it. So Bear One Boss in the video, hitting the bricks. I'm jumping around. I'm hype at this point because I already like the first couple joints. The first couple joints is just some rock star, get you hype, everything like that. And then you get into Evil Jordan, the song I know. I say, oh, Cardi, you done did it, my boy. Cardi done did it. And then it gets kind of slow. And it doesn't get slow like in the BPM or anything like that. It's just like, I feel like I'm hearing the same rock star like, big body beat that like you. And I know I'm just doing, her by air, but you got to get I like this. Like I feel like I'm hearing that cadence and that voice and that type of sound for about 3-4 tracks around the late kind of 8, 9, 10. And I don't know the actual numbers and stuff like that, but like say 11, just giving kind of examples until we get to good credit. And we get to good credit. I'm like, okay, it's interesting. It's interesting. I'm bopping out. I'm intrigued. And the way Dot came in, bro, it was just so smooth. And I said, oh, this is the one he's rapping. Because, I hear the ad lib track, right? When he said, Cardi, give me some of that Chicago. Give me some of that. I need some of that spaceship, Cardi. And then he comes on the other one on the Luther tip and he's like, Playboi Carti, if you want to go to Playboi Carti. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, okay, what is the track that Academics was referring to when he said Kendrick is talking again? I'm like, where is that track? Lo and behold, there's another dot track. And he slide in and he say, I hate you too. And then but then it's the one line that everybody stopped on and stuff like that. The Luka Doncic bar was hard. I caught that off top. But it was another bar that he said that everybody stopped on. And I said, oh, when I first heard it, but I didn't fully grasp the bar. And everybody's like, yeah, I grasped it immediately. I didn't get the bar. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm like, is this a diss to Rocky? Is this a diss to? It doesn't seem like he would diss Rocky. Then he's on his team. They both hate Drake right now, right? And then I see this tweet at night, bro. Because I see Zia's and B-Lou's reaction to it, and they say, you get it? And then B-Lou's like, yeah. And they both got it immediately, right? I still did not get it. And then I see this. On point, like ASAP Rally. Who was planning in the courtroom? Who was telling? Who went and sued over this song? What is we talking? And I don't care. Oh, he did it for UMG. Oh, he did it for artist rights. Oh, he did it because he's renegotiating the new contract and they don't want to give the boy more than $500 million because they know if he challenges them, then he'll win. And the Spotify is plotting against them and the whole establishment's against them. How can the establishment be against the machine? He was the machine for so long. But now they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna plug out the machine because I don't want to give him $1 billion. Hey, I wouldn't want to give him $1 billion either. It's that dang. If you the only reason why you became so popular, this and that, because we put too much of the machine behind you. But for the machine to go behind you, we on the Dolce. I'm sidetracking. We gonna get back on track with I Am Music. But if we want to get on that with Dolce, to have a machine to even push you, you gotta have some motion behind it first. Everybody that was signed to TDE did not go. Reason just left. We just reviewed Reason's album a couple weeks ago, right? Reason did not go. Reason was on back on Fed, dissing the TDE people, saying y'all don't support me, y'all don't do this. TDE said, hey man, you got to support yourself. You got to get going. You got to get some motion. Don't you got our own motion, right? And he pumped him right on air and he felt bad and everything like that. Before you know it, Reason got off that label eventually. Just tweeting some like this Drake joint hard. Woo woo. He finally got off the label and released a nice independent project. I'm still listening to by the way, this is I guess better than the last album because the last album I didn't revisit it at all. But on this one, I am listening to 100 the joint with Ben Riley on a consistent basis, close to daily, if not all the time. So in order for Dolce to get the push, Dolce's got to have some following. Dolce's got to have some people behind her, right? So that goes back to Drake. If Drake has a machine, everything like that, Drake had to have some type of popularity to even get a machine to push him and support him that much. All right. So there's that. Anyways, back to the music, bro. So we get into this one now. Oh yeah. Dot snap. Kendrick snap, bro. He snapped. He snapped. He rapped. He rapped. He gave us current cultural references, relevant references. The ASAP Rally whole trial, that joint was like a month ago. And the Luka Doncic trade was a month ago. And he said, I'm moving weight in the West. I'm carrying weight like Luka Doncic. Because they said, well, why would you trade Luka Doncic? Well, he's fat. He's got weight. Man, it's just, man. And then he went with the Chicago slang, and people was upset that he was talking about some conspiracy theories in there. Bro, sit back and enjoy the greatness, brother. Sit back and enjoy the greatness. All right, here we go and continue. So then Travis is also on Wake Up Filthy. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't mind these Travis Scott little things. I didn't mind them. Like the little ad libs and the skirt up, like his voice and the auto tune and everything like that. Because obviously, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of a part of like I feel this entire Cardi flow and stuff like that of the is kind of like he's singing, rapping, and auto tune and ad libs and stuff like that. And Travis Scott was the first to do that with the stacked auto tune. So yeah, I don't mind it at all. It's like Travis having a lot of Kanye on his album because it's obvious you could tell like he's very influenced by Kanye. That's why I didn't really like Travis's last album. It just reminded me of like a cheap, copycat version of Yeezus, which is crazy because like Travis produced on Yeezus, so I guess that makes sense on. But yeah, it seemed like he was just trying to make a Kanye like album. When I first heard Jumpin', on the ad libs on the hook, it sounded like Key. And I said, is that Key? And then I looked it up to see if anybody else was asking the same question. Everybody's just talking about how Uzi's on it. And I was like, okay, Uzi probably did a different voice. And then I thought, dang, did Uzi get a sound from Key? And then, I seen an interview where Key was talking with GA followers. And he was like, yeah, people say some people sound like me, this and that, but it's whatever, man. I just do what I do. I worry about myself. I worry about my own people. But he used to talk about, just Uzi being on Edgewood, which is crazy because that means I probably passed him. I was living on Edgewood at that time. At that time of the 2014, 2015, everything like that. I was at Georgia State, and I was on campus at the dorm, the lofts at Georgia State, and the lofts is literally on Edgewood. So just walk down a block and you're kind of a block away from all the action. Pretty crazy times. Pretty crazy times. I went to Rory music video out there, Tears in the Trap with Key, ironically, and stuff like that. And they had the pop-up shops at the department store with Mike Will Made It. He had Ear Drummers, 2-9, Ray Shrimmer, all of them was in there. Michi, all those guys and stuff. I don't know, a lot of history over there. I seen Uno the Activist perform on a like desk at the department store. The department store was something so kind of prevalent to the culture. It's kind of like the meetup place, the central place for Edgewood, which was kind of like the center of alt black culture. Like Low 5 Points is supposed to be that as well, and it still is, but Edgewood was really it, especially back in the mid 2010s. Long lived love Trouble, bro. Rest in peace of Trouble, for sure. Edgewood legend. And then rest in peace, OG Mako, for sure. Department store legend. But it was Space Ghost Perp, who was just thanking Carti for being on the album. He's like, yo, like, you at the top of the industry now, for you to reach back out and, like, you know, one of the people that came up with you, I really appreciate it. He said this one's for the department store. And I was like, is Space Ghost Perp from Atlanta? He ain't from Atlanta. I looked it up. He's from Florida. But like literally, like Key was saying, everybody was down there on Edgewood, bro, at department store. Like Uzi, made in Tokyo. He actually from Atlanta, so that's a bad example. But like all these other rappers from out of town, they was at department store. They was on Edgewood at the time. So I don't know. It's a whole thing. Shout out Reese LaFleur, bro. Yeah. So it turned out that it was just Uzi. Future has a verse on Trim. I like that joint. I like Trim. Another note that I made, there's a lot of references to 5L and being tough on the album up to this point. And I just thought that was interesting, kind of just with everything that's going on. It doesn't seem like there's any signs of the smoke slowing up. You know, you see I don't know if you guys seen the clip of Benji Bluebills listening to the album, but he like just uploaded like 5 seconds of it, and he kind of just smiled, and then he nodded his head, and then ended the video, the snippet of him. Let me see. But yeah, here it is. So yeah, there's that right there. It doesn't look like it's gonna slow down anytime soon. The whole beef and everything like that. Lord, pray for Atlanta and the streets and the young children in Atlanta, the young men, the young black men in this beef. We don't want to lose anymore. Blah blah. Anyways, all that stuff, right? We need all the vibes, right? Thug, come on. All right, so we finally get to Thug. We hear everybody else that's featured, all the big names and stuff. We finally get the Thug. I think we've already had the weekend at this point. The Thug ain't talking about nothing. Thug ain't talking about nothing. Yo, he come on there talking about luxury life, girls, and they put on Ty Dolla $ign to sing about girls on the hook just to double down on it. Thug, Carti, I don't know if it was Thug choice or Carti choice. They said we ain't taking no chances. No sir. You rapping about girls on this record. You gonna rap about my chick so sweet and she foreign and nice. I can see you from the front. Take a different toy. Like, it ain't nothing that nobody can grab in that. But that's the sign of a true friend, man. Shout out to Carti, bro. More people need true friends in their lives. He didn't even let him get close. Because I'm hearing the joint on the Wham album, right? And I feel like that was the highlight of the Wham album. I feel like we're a few months removed from it. So now we can look at it from that perspective, right? I'm looking at the Wham album and I'm like, okay. He talking like it seemed like it ain't nothing really different for real. Like he ain't saying nothing like I'll slide on you, I'll do anything to the snitches or anything like that. But it sounds like he's just talking like how Thug usually talks in his records. This one, I could hear the concerted effort that we only talking about lifestyle. money, and woman. That's the only thing we talking about. And I was like, it was just kind of like a little funny note that I noticed or whatever listening to it. Next note, we have Soldier Boy, 2006, 2007, like production snares on twin trim. And I'm like, wow, him and Uzi are really friends again. I put that in all caps. It was kind of difficult to like just kind of grasp because Cardi went away, and when he went away, they had the whole thing of him coming out recording in a cave, and it was a bunch of people. It was Maxo Cream, it was Uzi, it was like two other people, Pierre, I think. It was like a couple people that like Cardi was kind of affiliated with. Like it was like Cardi are these people. This is Cardi's people. This is the group, his peers that he came up with. He's always going to make music with them. It's a part of his sound. It's a part of the Playboi Carti world. And then all of them was just like, I haven't heard from Cardi in months. I haven't heard from Cardi in years. I'm like, what? This is crazy. And it's like Uzi, you know what I'm saying? Hasn't heard from Cardi. What in the world? Like, it's not even like Uzi's not on your level. Like, Uzi is more popular than you, if anything, unless you were trying to work to get more popular than Uzi. And I feel like at this point, you can kind of make the argument. What y'all think? I'll let y'all answer in the comments if you got this far in the video. Do you think Cardi has surpassed Uzi in popularity? I think Cardi might have done it, bro. I ain't even gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold you. I think Cardi might have done it because Fiend was like such a big hit. Because you might say, I just want to rock and the Rush Me Today, that joint might be like huge record radio success and stuff like that. Fiend might have matched I Just Want to Rock. So I don't know. I think Cardi's surpassed Uzi. Anyways, they're friends again. They got a couple records on this joint, and I was just really surprised that they made it back good. But I think that just proves to you that anything can be reconciled. Anything. And then once again, like I said, the Old to Atlanta. He has the Rich Kid Schoolie sample on Like Wheezy. I noticed it immediately, and I'm like, yo, he's just showing so much love. He ends with like the South Atlanta song and stuff like that. I really enjoyed it. So with that being said, my rating for this album, I've been going back and forth about this all day because it's like I feel like for the quality production and everything like that, you can go in the high 8s, low 9s, right? The feature quality, the you can go high 8s, low 9s. At the same time, with like I said, it was a lot of tracks that just sounded the same in the middle of it, where I was like about to tap out. It's 30 tracks. I think 30 tracks is too many for this project, to be honest. It's too many from Cardi, in my opinion. I don't think there's enough diversity in the sound to have 30 tracks of something that kind of sounds like the same thing for most of the point. So I think you got to take some away from that. I think for that, you will go more in the 7s, right? In the high 7s, low 8s. I wouldn't be mad if someone said this was a 7.1, 7.5 or something like that, right? But I do think what kind of puts it in the middle is like the more I listen to it after the first listen, more I listen to this track and this track and this track, I'm like, yo, I like this song. I like this song. I like this song. And you just hear random songs from the album in no order, and you just bumping your head, you vibing your head, you vibing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think because of that, I'm anticipating that it's gonna grow on me. I'll say this. As of right now, I think I gave Wham like an 8.1 or something like that. I don't even remember what I gave him. I might have gave him like a 7.9, whatever. First listen, I'll give it honest a 8.3. I think a lot of the tracks though, anticipating how it's growing on me, it's gonna grow to a 8.5, a mid 8s for me. I don't think it's better than the Lit album. Is it better than self-titled? This is two different Cardis. It's two different Cardis right there, self-titled and this one. I do think this is better than Whole Lot of Red. I like this better than Whole Lot of Red off top. Whole Lot of Red, it was so much first listen that was just like out there. That was also another album I thought was too many songs. and the way that they kind of aged, I just thought that the Lit album was better. And then the self-titled, I have a bias with that, probably just because I was just young then. I'm about Carti's age, so it was like I was in college when self-titled came out. It was a whole different feeling with it. And so like I have a bias with that. And then he kind of came straight from SoundCloud at that point to like a major, had his first major hit, Magnolia. It was different. I don't think I can like do that without being biased about thinking about where I was in life at the time. But I do think out of those 3 albums, I got Lit number 1, Dish number 2, I Am Music number 2, Whole Lotta Red number 3. And that's where I'm at with it. So I got an 8.5. And the Lit album probably at like a 9. It ain't probably about one song that I wouldn't listen to if I'm listening to the whole Lit album all the way through. Yeah, it's darn near no misses. So yeah, 9.5 with that one. But yeah, so if that's a 9.5, I say this at 8.5. 8.3. I'm going 8.3, 8.5. 8.3-8.5. That's where we're going for I Am Music. Y'all give it up for Carti. Hey! So now that we talked about the actual music, I'll talk about a little bit of the
That steps for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but
And Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon,
We can't ask Rashad a question.
Hey, Rashad.